you. And may you enjoy your day in this magical place called Disneyland.
Oh yeah, that looks cool.
Disneyland Railroad. We're in Grand Circle Tour of Magic Kingdom. We'll get started take us to town and tomorrow night. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval era, the age of the dinosaurs, before returning to Main Street Station. As we
Ladies and gentlemen, for deputies and Disneyland guests, welcome aboard Holliday Time to Disneyland Railroad. This train is about to ready from the end, but everyone remain seated on the ground floor. Keeping on the outside, keep right inside. Before our waiting our opening. So you can put in at all clocks and behind the desk in front of you. Our next stop is the Marsh station.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los otros.
Around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom. Passengers will stand by to board. Disneyland Limited now around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom. The Grand Canyon
Welcome aboard Excursion. It is led by our senior students keeping hands, hearts, feet, and legs inside the train. Then please supervise your children and it's for one seat without the support. You probably have to keep them away from any creative next stop.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
All aboard, all aboard.
Now arriving from a trip around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom. Passengers will stand by to board.
Toontown Depot. Mickey's Toontown. This is Toontown Depot. Mickey's Toontown.
Your attention, please. The Disneyland Limited now for a complete trip.
Very little.
Hey folks, this train is being removed for the evening. That's why it's empty.
This train's down for the night. Sorry about this.
Where are y'all visiting from? Where are you folks visiting from? I've never been, but I've been very, very pretty.
Yeah, sign's not too far from us. We're in the hot part.
Yeah.
Are you from here?
From
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Ahí vienen.
Yes, but I got from that.
Are you pulling that out?
And I remember everybody wrote that tape. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes you get
Your attention, please. The Disneyland Limited now arriving from a trip around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom. Passengers will stand by to board. the Grand Canyon and Sliding World. Stop at Tomorrowland.
And places that train all times, and parents please watch those little ones, keeping them away from the large train openings. Next stop will be Tomorrowland Station.
Like in Independence Day. When you get to the station, they move
Hi friends, we need all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Thank you.
Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland.
Rocket
You
ships
can
and
see
star
Devil Eaters, submarines and astro blasters, and if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel.
Hi friends, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. Please remain seated, keeping all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train at all times. And parents, please watch those little ones, making sure they're away from the train's openings. Once again, at this time, we need everyone seated in a lap or on a bench. Next stop will be Main Street Station, but first we're going to make a detour through Grand Canyon and the primeval world. So as we're approaching the tunnel up ahead, please refrain from the use of any flash photography or video lighting. Once again, do not use any flash photography or video lighting. Thank you. The station does not have a ramp, so if you're planning on exiting, please keep those shoulders folded until you're all the way down the stairs. Also, this will be our last time at Main Street until after the fireworks show. We're only going to be going as far as Tomorrowland, then we're going to be asking everyone to exit until the fireworks are over.
While the train is in motion, keeping all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train as well. And please keep an eye on those little ones. If their feet do not reach the ground, please keep them away from any train openings, either seated next to you on a bench or on a guardian's lap. Next stop is New Orleans Square Station, but please be advised that this train is only going to be going as far as Tomorrowland, and then everyone is going to have to be exiting at that point for the fireworks show. Thank you. Once again, folks, everyone is going to be exiting at Tomorrowland Station. Thank you.
To those just joining us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the Great River Valley below. People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams, and the stories that went with them, were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable. Like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop. Remember your personal belongings, then step carefully from the train. Have fun, and say hi to Mickey and Minnie for me. Those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is Toontown Depot, Mickey's Toontown.
Go ahead and continue to remain seated so that train comes to a full complete stop. This is Mickey's Toontown Depot, your gateway to Fantasy.
We're getting off.
Also a very great spot for firework viewing if you can't catch a spot over there by Main Street. Just set up camp over here in front of It's a Small World.
Set up in front of It's a Small World for fireworks.
Yeah. Train's getting off. Once again, this train is going as far as Tomorrowland Station. Then we will be having everyone exit due to our fireworks show.
Hi friends, thanks for joining us here on the Holiday 5 on the Disneyland Railroad. At this time we do need to remind you to please remain seated while the train is in motion, keeping all hands on and legs inside the train as well. Please keep an eye over the little ones. We hate to inform you though, but our next stop is going to be our last one. We're going to be closing early for the fireworks show, but come visit us as soon as that's over. We'll be resuming normal operations.
Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. You can see people stepping onto It's a Small World just below us. And, off in the distance, majestic Matterhorn Mountain.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Here you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Untitled.
Tomorrow, and we're sorry for the inconvenience, so please visit us after the fireworks are over. Thank you. Howdy friends and welcome aboard the Holiday 5 on the Disneyland Railroad. At this time we do need to remind you to please remain seated while the train is in motion, keeping all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train as well. Please keep an eye over those little ones whose feet don't reach the ground. Please keep them seated either next to you on a bench or on a Guardian's lap. Next stop is Main Street Station, but on our way there we're going to be taking a slight detour to the primeval world and Grand Canyon. Please refrain from any sort of flash photography or lit videography for the safety of others around you and your conductors. Thank you.
The beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children and no flash photography.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Por favor, no tome fotografías con flash.
That was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primeval world, land of the dinosaurs.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad, folks. For your safety, please remain seated. Keep your arms, hands, legs, feet inside the train and supervise your little ones. Our next stop is New Orleans Square, here on my last trip around Disneyland.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. We're embarking on a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children and watch your step as you're getting off. For those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is New Orleans Square Station. New Orleans Square.
All right, folks, we're now arriving here at New Orleans Square Station. Please remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop inside of the station. This will be a stop for attractions like Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, Indiana Jones Adventure, Pirates of the Caribbean, and much more. Once again, remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop inside of the station.
Welcome aboard the Holiday 5 train here at the Disneyland Railroad. For your safety, please remain seated. Keep your arms, hands, legs, feet inside the train. Supervise your little ones. Make sure they're seated away from the openings of the train. Our next stop is Toontown Depot. For now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the sounds of the sights of the rivers of America.
This tunnel signals our transition from the frontier to another kind of gear.
It's of the station. Once again, remain seated.
I also saw it at the downtown Disney show. I can get 88% sure. Wait, I'm 88% sure of that.
Okay, so we're gonna do that right.
Okay, so
Wait,
mono.
what?
5. Okay, so we'll just take the mono.
Welcome aboard the Holiday 5 train here at the Disneyland Railroad. For your safety, please remain seated at all times. Keep your arms, hands, legs, feet inside the train and supervise your little ones. Make sure they're seated at all times away from the openings of our train. Our next stop will be Tomorrowland Station.
Hello, everyone. Of a Mark 7 monorail Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail and us are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astro blasters, and step carefully
Please remain
from the
seated
train.
until the train comes to a full and complete stop inside of the station. This will be your stop for attractions like Autopia, which is right in front of you, Finding Nemo Submarine Adventure, Star Tours, The Adventure Continues, Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters, and much, much more. Once again, folks, please remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop inside the station, or you see both conductors step onto the platform. Thank you. Disneyland Railroad, folks, for your safety, please remain seated at all times. Keep your arms, hands, legs, feet inside the train. Supervise those little ones. Make sure they're seated away from the openings of our train. Our next stop will be Main Street Station. But to get there, did you guys know that we're going to be passing by the Grand Canyon? That's right. But you know, as we're passing by, go to turn off all the flash on your cameras or your phones. That way you can take all the pictures you'd like. Once again, folks, there's no flash photography or video lighting in the tunnel up ahead of us. Once again, next stop, Main Street Station. Train comes to a full and complete stop inside of the station. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me here on my final journey around the Disneyland Resort on my last day. Once again, remain seated so we come to a full and complete stop. Thank you, folks. Have a wonderful evening.
Main Street Station. Main Street, USA.
Holliday 5 here on the Disneyland Railroad. At this time, we do need to remind you, please remain seated while the train is in motion, keeping all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Also, please keep an eye over those little ones. If they're muted, that means the ground, please have a seat next to you or on a side.
I'm gonna try. I want to do this one more time, going all the way around.
Welcome aboard the Holiday 5 on the Disneyland Railroad. At this time, we do need to remind you, please remain seated while the train is in motion, keeping all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please keep an eye on those little ones. If their feet do not reach the ground, please keep them seated next to you or on a guardian's lap. Our next stop is going to be Tomorrowland Station.
That's cool, I can make it.
We will be pulling off for the evening. We will be asking everyone to clear the train, and this train will be pulled away for the evening. Once again, this train is only going as far as Mickey's Toontown Depot. Like the Haunted Mansion, world famous Jungle Cruise, good chance to take through Indiana Jones Adventure. One of the envelopes, please remain seated until the train comes to a full stop, and now you may exit. But other than that, please remain seated while the train is in motion. Keep all hands on chain length inside the train, and please watch over the little ones. If their feet do not reach the ground, keep them seated next to you on a bench or on a guardian's lap. Next stop is Mickey's Toontown Depot.
Part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. Riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great Remember your personal belongings, then step carefully from the train. Have fun, and say hi to Mickey and Minnie for me. Those of you can
please remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop. This is Mickey's Toontown Depot, our last stop, unfortunately, for the night. So we are going to ask that everyone please exit the train once it comes to a full and complete stop, of course. We'd like to thank you guys for joining us here today on the Disneyland Railroad. Have a good night.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms,
arriving from a trip around Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom. Passengers will stand by to board.
It should be, I think.